I did my final project on the San Francisco Pride Parade. While the parade doesn't have a campaign slogan, Pride Month has multiple, one of the most popular being Pride is for everyone. It's about celebration and awareness, creating a safe space, serving as a platform for advocacy and activism, and marching in solidarity for a more just and equitable world. The parade acts as a reminder that the fight for LGBTQ+ rights is not over and that we are not alone in our struggles. It also serves as a call to action for people to continue fighting for the freedom for everyone to be their truest selves. The audience includes LGBTQ+ members, allies to the community, and those fighting for an equitable world. The message is promoting equality and justice for all and advocating for LGBTQ+ rights and visibility. In my first thumbnail sketches, I knew I wanted androgynous figures to represent the audience. From there, I played with the composition of typography around said figures. These are my first two sketches that were inspired by my thumbnails. Initially, I really thought I was going to run with the 3-figured draft, but the illustration with the 2 dancers was really the strongest. So we decided to go that route, but these were them digitized. Ended up being that I didn't like the background of this one, and the professor advised me that the movement that the background here gives would be a great asset to the poster. So I ended up combining the compositions of these 2 drafts. These are also just an extra drafts that I made while I was figuring out what I wanted to do. This first one I thought was just a little too simple, and then this last one is a little too hard to decipher. You don't really understand what's going on. It would make you have to get a closer look instead of just right in your face, you know what it's about. This was my final choice that I landed on. I combined features from both poster drafts. I was advised that since Pride is an extremely well-known event, I can place it behind my illustration without the message being lost. And I really liked having the shadow of the 2 figures dancing, but for this design, it was a bit too crowded. This is my horizontal manipulation of that poster. I didn't want to put Pride on the bottom because if it's a banner on a website, you would really need this information to be easily accessible and very visible. So I decided to push this to the right, which I ended up, I was scared at first, but it ended up turning out really well because this kind of creates a corner that pushes your eye towards the information. These are my horizontal and square deliverables. I ended up putting the key information in the middle of these 2 dancers, and while I don't think it would have worked for my original poster, I really like what it did for these. The one thing I regret is not doing this drooping in the original poster, because in all of my deliverables, it ended up just making the entirety of the poster come together when I did it. These are some of my mock-ups. This is like if you were scrolling on Instagram. This is the horizontal deliverable on a billboard. My favorite deliverable, however, is this one right here. Not only do I think just the mock-up was a perfect choice because it looks like San Francisco streets, but I think it fits perfectly well. My reflection being, since the dominant feature of my poster was the illustration, it limited where I was able to place the time, date, and location. Figuring out how busy is too busy was something I struggled with. Also, the landscape deliverable kind of threw me for a loop. I couldn't have Pride take up the entire bottom because the information had to be easily identifiable, but I ended up loving the result. I decided on manipulating the San Francisco too late to include it in my final poster, but I believe it really added to the composition of my deliverables. The typeface I was using for the event information was not visible enough in my deliverable, so I changed that to share the font with the event title while keeping the donate note the same. I learned a lot about how to transform text in Photoshop as well as masking type, although I didn't end up using the explorations that I did in Photoshop, I did gain a lot of knowledge and skill. I made progress on my knowledge of poster composition, but I definitely need to practice my organization skills. If I were to do this project again, I would have chosen a different approach. While I like my final poster, I would have liked to experiment and gain knowledge on something that would be less illustration heavy, since I believe that those are the aspects of graphic design that I have yet to really gain skill on.